You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV Silicon Valley After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV Silicon Valley After Show.
Everything is awesome. The three of us are back. It's the Silicon Valley After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV, and tonight we're going to be bringing down episode 6 called Party Insourcing. And I'm going to say it. This is my favorite episode so far.
Really?
It was.
Bold statement.
Okay, that is a bold statement.
You disagree, Sophie.
Well,
Not your favorite.
Well, I thought it was good. I actually really liked. I thought this episode had so many layers and a lot of different levels. There was, you know, it got really, really serious for a second, and then it got really, really funny, and it was kind of everywhere. I liked that about it. I still think episode 4 was my favorite.
Okay.
That was when I really sort of got hooked. But I did think this was a good episode.
Okay, well, we'll break it down. First off, I'm Jeffrey Masters. Let's go around the circle.
I'm JB Zimmerman.
I'm Sophie Schilacci.
Okay, thank God it's out of the way. I was sweating. Oh, wait, maybe that's the AC.
Check it off the list.
Or is that the names? I don't know.
That's just me, Jeff. Sorry.
Oh, that's you in the booth.
Classic,
Mr.
Steve.
Lemieux.
He forgot to turn on the air is what it really is.
It's fine.
No air.
Steamy in here.
We got the sound effects all night. Yeah, I love this episode particularly because I like that so much was happening. Usually with like the 30 minutes, not usually, but sometimes I feel like, oh, 30 minutes, they're like nervous about what to fit in and we only get like one plot point.
Right.
But this one, we had like so much going on. I thought it really worked.
Yeah, I thought it really worked, and I like I said, I loved the levels, and I felt like there was a little bit of that tech insidery stuff that sometimes goes over our heads, but then there was a lot that, you know, you didn't have to understand what they were talking about to find it funny.
Yeah, this one in particular had like very funny moments where, I mean, at least for me, I was like, oh, that's so funny. I have no idea what they're talking about when they were freaking out when like the website was crashing or they made a mistake, the hacker.
Yeah. Right.
That was interesting they brought him in, but they're freaking out. They're going over, like throwing out initials and words, and I was like, oh, I wish I knew one of these words. Computer. Got computer. I got one.
Nice. And a lot of new characters this episode. We had 2 completely new people who we haven't met before. A girl, even, which is saying a lot because
Thank
the show.
the Lord. Thank the Dark Lord.
Oh, Tara.
A female.
I was like, who are we talking about?
Were you attending those same meetings and that's how you got your
He
win?
just...
I was like, I'm still stuck on Monica.
Well, we love Monica,
Yeah, we do.
but I like seeing another girl in the mix.
I guess it's okay.
Obviously.
That was a funny like plot point with like the jokes going on. I didn't see that coming.
Right. Classic Guilfoyle and Dinesh at it again.
Classic but predictable. I knew that that was going to happen the whole time.
I didn't know until he decided, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I said, oh, I see what's happening.
I do kind of want to know what she did say about Dinesh, because the whole thing started because she said something to Guilfoyle, and then she kind of like looked over at Dinesh, and they never told us what she actually said about him. But the second Guilfoyle said like, oh, my girlfriend wants to have sex with you, I was like, nope, they're lying. He's playing a trick. Don't fall for it, Dinesh.
Well, thank God we had the female perspective on this panel.
Very true.
It wasn't until much later that like dawned on me.
I was just hung up on the fact that the prank was so simple in its inception. He just kind of planted a small seed, one comment basically in the morning, and it sort of grew, not only affecting Dinesh, but obviously took TJ's Ehrlich's mind over completely.
TJ Ehrlich.
I love
tomato.
True.
diving into the swimming pool, like replicating that like famous commercial.
Foul.
I know, and then there's Tara
God,
walking around in her like high heels and like bathrobe the whole time.
I know. I just was like, first of all, if I was there in the house, I have spent many days in a house filled with males. And
oh, do tell.
Yeah,
Please.
The college I went to was very male heavy, so.
You join a fraternity.
Yes, we won't get into that, but my sorority is technically a fraternity. The other story for another day.
How progressive.
Bio, perhaps?
Zeta to Alpha. So if I was in that situation, walking around in a silk Victoria's Secret bathrobe is the last thing I'm going to be doing.
Right.
And just as a human, wearing heels by the pool is also the last thing I'm going to be doing.
Right. In House of Men, you'll have your like C Jobs turtleneck and nothing else. Just like, you know, cover it up.
Yeah. No, I would definitely be in full sweats. Like,
Yeah.
you know that these boys are not getting any and you don't want to become that target.
Right.
So.
And I feel like anytime
thanks.
there's a female on the show, I automatically think, oh, love interest. Oh, they're like just crazed and like testosterone ridden men surrounded by other men, and all they want to do is like have sex. It was sorry, what were you gonna say?
Right. No, I was just thinking that Guilfoyle was playing a prank, but a different one than he ended up with. I thought because everybody was so distracted when she came in the room, and it didn't seem like Guilfoyle had anything to work on. Maybe he was just sabotaging Dinesh, like their kind of workflow. But
Oh,
it
to
ended
make
up
him
going
work
in a
slower.
different. Right. Exactly.
Oh, that didn't dawn on me.
I didn't
Well, it
think about
didn't
that
end
either.
up panning out. So.
Not that we know of.
Right.
True.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would like to see her come back.
I would too. I liked her.
I know, and I liked her like little mystique. She didn't say much, so I want to get to know her a little bit more. Tara, Tara, come back.
I'm still waiting for Mochaccino to come back. You said that she's signed on for multiple episodes.
I did. IMDb had her listed for at least 2.
Okay. Well, we still have 2 more episodes, I believe.
do,
so
yeah.
there
I think
could
we've
be-
legitimately brought up Mochaccino every single show we've
She
done
may be
since
my
she was
favorite
on.
character.
Oh, the
She is,
stripper.
Jamie.
Okay.
We're learning so much about you.
Speaking of
I
predictable.
actually like Jared / Donald /
Mochaccino, it's fine.
Zach
Just own
Woods.
it. Own it. It's fine.
I almost was going to tell you today that we needed to stop calling him Donald because it's confusing to me, but then
You
he called
stopped calling
himself
him Jared,
Donald today, and all bets are off. Sorry, what?
Stop calling him Jared because his real name's Donald.
No, but everyone else calls him Jared.
Right. But
I
feel
felt like
we
Donald
should
was just thrown in
honor-
there to be funny and confuse us, and they were going to go back to Jared. But net, they're still...
Well, they're still on Jared, right? And his real
Yes.
name's Donald.
They call him Jared, but when he was in the car panicking, he's like, "Get it together, Jared." Or I'm sorry, "Get it together, Donald."
Right.
So.
Oh, he did say that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He called
Okay.
himself Donald.
I
At least-
appreciate that you want to be nice and call him Donald, but if the characters are not calling him Donald, I will get way too confused.
We're already confused.
I was calling
Fair
him
enough,
Jordan
fair
all day already. There's not a Jordan, right? That I know of.
No,
I don't
Okay.
believe there's a Jordan.
there's no
show.
Jordan.
This like hacker culture with like the Carver, you can call me Kevin. I was like, oh, I can't do 2 names per person.
Right.
Just too much. I have to say, I really loved the kid.
Oh my gosh.
He was actually a surprisingly good actor. The
Yeah.
crying scene, I mean, it's a comedy, so we don't expect a lot of emotion in the acting, but he did pretty well.
Yeah, if an actor can cry, you know, like Oscar all the way.
Yeah, just,
That's what I always say.
Let me
Well
tell
done.
you 2
Give him
things
an
that I
Emmy.
thought about Carver. First of all, I was very excited when they called him Black Hat because I actually knew what that meant. And I was
Oh,
like,
ooh,
oh my gosh, I know the
please.
terminology. Black Hat is like a bad hacker. It's there's White Hat, who's a good hacker who like hacks for good, which is what
Why has it
my
gotta be
boyfriend
white?
does. White is like angel, black is like dark,
Okay.
whatever.
That's definitely racist, but
but
keep going.
it is, but also Dark Lord, Dark Satanic.
Ooh, okay.
There's a lot of things going on here. Anyway, so Black Hat is a bad hacker.
Okay.
When they thought that he, hacked into Bank of America.
By bad, you mean evil intent or just not good? At
Malicious
what they did?
intent,
Okay,
yes.
Gotcha.
Ooh, good word choice.
Doing it not to defend a company, but doing it to attack them.
Hmm.
So I was excited that I knew what that meant. And also, he reminds me of my little brother. My little brother is 13, and he's totally like that kid that, when he was 6 years old, he stole my stepmom's credit card and bought himself toys on the internet and had them shipped to the house. Like,
Nice.
this
Oh
my
is
God,
the
that's so
generation
modern.
we're dealing with right now.
Yeah,
and
the paper trail he may not have thought about beforehand.
the problem, though, his plan was foiled because the company called my stepmom and said, "We're trying to ship out this order that you placed, but we're not sure where Max's house is."
No,
He
rookie
didn't know the
mistake.
address.
That's
So
amazing.
close,
6.
so close. Wow,
So-
he was only 6 when he did.
I think he was 6 or 7.
Wow,
I
impressive.
love that story. I think it's hysterical. And also, like, he's totally this kid that's like an evil genius. And
I love that story. So do we think that Kevin was around 13, that age?
I think he was. Well, he was definitely in high school because he said he had like a Model UN thing.
Oh, right.
So
Fair enough.
older
So a
than
little
13,
older
I
than-
guess.
Okay.
Maybe 15.
I was like, where is your mom? Why does she let you out of the house?
Well, yeah, I guess he can't drive because his mom was picking him up.
Yeah.
Right. I was having like Doogie Howser flashbacks where I was like, oh my God, this kid will grow up. He's going to like be the lead in every show. This is it. This is the new Leonardo DiCaprio. Watch out for memorize his name. I couldn't find it on IMDb, but you should at home look it up and memorize it.
Definitely. Tweet it at us.
Tell us.
Yeah. Just fill us in later.
Please do. I loved the Adderall. I love Adderall. No, I love the storyline surrounding
We're learning so much
Adderall.
about everybody tonight. I love it.
Oh God, I should get some now. Just kidding. I remember looking around high school and being like, I think I'm the only person in this entire grade, maybe one other that does not take Adderall.
I've never taken Adderall.
Oh really? Have you? Prescription or stolen?
No
Did you do,
He doesn't
did
wanna
you do
tell
it
us
a
right
lot
now.
and you still do it?
No, I've never been prescribed Adderall.
When was the last time you did it?
Back in college, I think.
Okay.
I mean, it's for studying. I don't think it doesn't make
For
you feel
studying.
good.
The statute
at
of
all.
limitations is not up yet.
Yeah, full
Stop
disclosure,
there,
people.
please.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take it for fun.
Did you like
at
the
all.
effects of it?
It's effective. I don't know if I would. It just makes you feel uncomfortable.
And
Apparently,
you were
it's
doing
like
pills
kind
or
of
snorting
meth.
it?
Pills. I mean,
Great. Sign
You're
here.
getting real personal right now.
I'm Barbara Walters. You can follow me at. Oh, that's interesting.
Don't be afraid to ask the tough questions, Jeff Masters.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, fine. I won't. Oh, that's interesting.
It definitely does help. Kind of when you need that type of focus for a long
Yes.
period of time.
Could you have studied for 48 hours straight on it?
48 hours is a long time. You'd have to take a lot, I assume.
So
I've never done that.
But it
That's a
does
marathon.
keep you up like that.
Right. I mean, it's as if you're, pounding cups of coffee or something. But it's also like an intense focus. Like you get a motivation to study. So that's interesting.
I've heard that you have to be focused on the right thing, like right when it hits, though, because if you're playing Candy Crush when it hits, you can't get off of it. Like you need to be
that's dangerous.
already reading your book and like studying. This is what I've heard. I have no idea.
Mr. Lemieux, do you have anything to add?
Never taken it.
Okay, sure.
Lies. We haven't
So I'm
incriminated
the only
you
one
yet,
thrown
though.
under the bus here.
I have
It's okay.
nothing. I have nothing against me that I can talk about.
Yeah, just as clean as a preacher's sheets, I bet.
I have nobody hiding in my basement.
Yeah, just no.
I'm from Cleveland. Just kidding.
I feel like Jeff is like trying to find potential customers.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm starting a business.
Tweet Jeff.
Tweet Jeff at Jeffrey Masters.
My sister's a pharmacist and like makes drugs, so I want to sell this stuff.
So this is why
It's a
you're
family
not
Side
business.
biz. Awesome.
Master's Adderall, MA.
Yeah.
Hey, you want some MA? I love that when they
Hey-yo.
eventually found kids with Adderall, though, they were like, oh, 7-year-olds.
Did they give him a Mentos? Or like an icebreaker? What? It looked like an
smaller than
icebreaker
that.
to
Yeah,
me.
It looked like a mint.
mint. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it
it had the
definitely
little
looks like a mint.
specks of
Yeah.
freshness, I assume.
And then you guys are waiting all season. Tell us about the interview. I don't remember this.
So you weren't here when we talked about this.
Oh, yes.
But TJ Miller, a few episodes back, we talked about TJ Miller had done a Q&A with
Right.
HBO, and in it he teased that he was going to beat the crap out of a 12-year-old for Richard's honor. And he explained nothing other than that. He was just like, I beat up a 12-year-old, deal with it.
But I've been
And-
waiting for that moment since we figured that
Yes,
out.
JB and I were like, okay, when is it happening and why? And this is going to be amazing. And it was amazing. I
It
loved
kept
it.
you watching this whole season.
Definitely. I was very disappointed to not get it last week because that was the only thing I've been thinking about.
Oh, so when you guys saw Kevin pop in, you thought, oh, this is the child.
Yeah, I was very. I didn't want to jinx it, but I was really hoping for that.
I actually kind of forgot about it until it actually happened.
It was a hard hit.
Oh my gosh. Not only was the hit hard, but the insults were amazing. I'm gonna kill your mother,
Rape your
your
father.
father, curb kick you so hard your teeth
Curb
fall out.
stomping,
Curb
actually,
stomp,
which
sorry.
is-
This was like the most vulgar episode yet. And applause all around. Those are our fans. Oh my god.
stomping.
Oscars for
Kids,
TJ
yeah.
Miller.
Yeah, but they're talking about like raping the
Amazing.
father. They offer to have Richard S someone's D suck his dick. I don't know. Let's say it. Can I say that?
Yeah, well, we talked
not?
about
Me
drug
out.
use
We're
already,
throwing
so
all-
we were good.
All caution to the
I
wind
love
today.
Ehrlich's quote though about do not touch anything. Failure is contagious. And I was like, that's brilliant. Opening scene. It was
Oh,
when they
I
found
was that
Carter.
one over my head.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could recount it for you guys.
Yes.
Thank you for
Oh
the
my gosh, I
recap.
do remember when like the
appreciate that.
chair was in the wall and they were
Yeah.
walking through. That was funny.
Don't touch anything.
Yeah, that
Don't
chair
touch
was
anything. Don't talk to
actually-
anyone. It's contagion.
Yeah, it could be. The chair was actually thrown into a poster that said "Making the World a Better Place."
Yes.
That's sort of an inside thing I read about. For Silicon Valley, all these companies kind of have a competition of how they spend their money afterwards, and they all try to be very philanthropic. That's why, Peter Gregory, or Gavin Belson, has that kind of spiritual guru guy. And in the first episode, they have that video of him in Africa helping kids. It's kind of a thing that each billionaire tries to one up.
Is
each
it
other
almost
on.
like it's competitive to see who could like be the most like philanthropic?
Right. I mean, they all have so much money. To not spend something volunteering or giving back is kind of a dick move.
So that's actually a really nice, friendly competition then.
Right.
Like
It is
you're
good.
building your school for girls in Africa, Oprah. Watch this.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's the same thing in Hollywood. All the celebrities are in like
Exactly.
competition
They need
to be the
talk
most
about,
philanthropic.
I don't. While we're on the subject of being vulgar and being
They go hand in
philanthropic,
hand, really.
Yeah, this last night, I'm kidding. I read, that was a joke. Like a couple months ago, it came out that Bill Gates had donated, I don't remember how much money, but it's a lot more than I made this year, to a company to help develop a condom that feels like you're not wearing a condom. And I said,
What?
okay, Bill Gates, I believe you. You're having sex. You've proved it, finally. Like, that's really where you're putting your money?
Or maybe it was an elaborate plot to make you think that he's having
Okay, you're
sex.
getting some, Bill Gates.
No,
I
I'm
believe
just
you. Right? I was like, okay. So
Richest
that
man in the
one-
world. I get it. I get it. You can
That
probably.
one's not where I think you should put the money at.
Right.
Not that I...
Donate to what you're passionate about.
I'll send
Jeff
everybody a
Masters.
list who tweets at me. So Carver then gets his
The
Adderall.
Carver.
The Carver. Thank you.
He's got the prestige.
Oh my God, I just spun my pen around my
Jeff's
finger.
on Adderall, everybody.
Oh my God,
Tweaking
I spent
out.
like 20 minutes trying to replicate that. I can't tell what the problem was, but they were able to fix it very quickly. Did anyone catch on? Can any of them explain to me what
How
happened?
they fixed it?
Or what the problem was?
Well, what he said was that he messed up something in the code. So basically, I think they had to go through the code of the entire program, which is probably enormous, line
to
by
find
line.
the one
and-
mistake.
Yes.
And was that because he is like a young and semi-lazy hacker? He like leaves mistakes, or was it like he wasn't being like he was trying to sabotage, right?
No, I think if he was trying to sabotage, he wouldn't have been under the desk crying. I think that he very much screwed up, and you saw very much that was the way that we saw his age. I think because before that he was always like, "Oh, you're 26," and was just kind of this jerk and acting way older than he was. And then in that moment, we're like, "Oh yeah, you are a child."
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, he's a super cocky person, obviously, having like a basically genius level, but you can still make mistakes. And if you kind of just plow through life like that, like very cavalier, you're the best at everything. You know, you don't check your work, you're gonna make a mistake. And it's something that complicated, that's to the letter or number. I don't write code, but I assume every little piece that goes in means something.
I imagine it to be, this is like the dumbed down version. I imagine it to be like a web page where you type in www. Actually, not anymore. You don't need that. Blah, 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 / blah, blah, blah. And like you have like one character missing or wrong, and it just doesn't go to the web page.
Right. I think that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, but also like in the words of Miley Cyrus, everybody makes mistakes.
True.
It's
Plus,
okay, little boy.
I don't think there's a spell check for code. So if you do type like make
There
one
is
little
certainly
We
typo-
should
not.
invent it.
Yeah.
That's coming at me.
Season
Let's
2,
rewind.
Silicon Valley.
Everyone's gonna steal our genius idea.
No, I'm calling Peter Gregory.
Yeah.
Now, I think that this show is, sometimes I get frustrated, like, is it Big Bang Theory? Is it very serious? Like, what is the voice? And I think I really enjoyed this episode in particular because it was a little bit more ridiculous, and I think that really fits and works for the show.
Right.
And I'm talking specifically about the driverless car. I think that was, like,
Yes.
amazing and
I loved
exciting to
that.
watch.
That actually does exist. I've seen when I go back to the Bay for family events, because my mom still lives in San Francisco. I've actually seen the Google car driving itself on the freeway. It's
Really?
insane.
That's
Yeah,
terrifying.
I thought it was one that took pictures because it has like this crazy contraption on the top of the car. It's a Prius.
I
Obviously.
can't imagine that I mean, I guess it is legal because it happens. I can't like imagine how that could be possible, that like they let these cars on the road.
That's just us. Like, you think about old people are like,
Yeah, just
in my day, I never thought we'd have personal computers.
It wasn't until I got
Why do you need a cell phone?
Oh my God. I still have my first smartphone ever. My iPhone 4.
Good for you.
I graduated
Holding on to
college. Yeah, thank you. And I was at like dinner at someone's house, like with family members. And I saw this little 8-year-old boy like plugging away on like Twitter. And I was like, oh my God, an 8-year-old has a smartphone. I promise I'm literate.
Back to my brother. He was trying to get a smartphone before I even had one. He was like,
Ooh,
Dad, I
undercutting.
need an iPhone. And my dad's like,
It's just like you are 8 years old.
a lie.
Why?
yeah, who are you going to call?
Oh my God. What is like, I guess that's what parents have to deal with nowadays. Like, at what age does the child get this iPhone?
I'm going to sound like a
smartphone.
crotchety old woman. I
Please.
remember biking down to the Singular store when I was in high school.
Ooh, Singular.
What a
pre
reference.
AT&T,
Before
I like that.
AT&T,
Whoa,
buying
throwback.
myself a little prepaid phone, and then I paid for it myself for years and years. And then I have another brother who's older, and he got one just handed to him, just because the way times are changing, and parents feel like they need to give their kid a phone.
I know.
And I was like, when I was his age.
I remember having a cell phone in high school that I shared with my sister.
Yes.
And some days I get it. Most days she would get it, though.
Is she older?
Yep.
Rightfully
how
so.
far phones have
big
come.
fist.
I was very impressed when my phone had Snake. I would play that all day.
Oh, the game.
The game, yeah, that was good
Oh,
stuff.
that is a solid reference.
That is. Oh, man.
Oh my God,
Our
we're being
listeners
so
must
weird,
think
you
we're so
guys.
old.
Let's change topics.
We've
Okay,
digressed
sorry.
slightly.
No, let's go back to Donald / Jared.
Ah, yes.
He ends up on the island.
Yes, with the arrow on, I want to say.
I was getting very nervous during that whole thing, like
Oh,
heart
right.
palpitations.
Yeah, just
I thought he
could
will
die.
suffocate,
I mean,
he'll starve to death.
Right.
How long?
I was thinking in my head, okay, how many days is 102 hours? I think that was how many hours it was. And I was like, how is he going to go to the bathroom? Hey, you can't drink water.
It was 102 hours.
I
It
think
was-
that's what they
it was
said.
over
It was
100,
something.
definitely.
Yeah, it was definitely more
Quite
than
a
3
trip.
days.
Oh my God. It reminded me of the story that just came out last week about the 15-year-old boy that was like hid in a aircraft and like where the wheels go up. He
Oh,
hid
right,
in there.
yeah.
Yeah, and they flew to like Hawaii. I forget where it is. But they
yeah, I
landed.
think it was from San Francisco to
Yeah,
Hawaii.
yeah. And he's wandering around in Hawaii. He's like frostbitten. He's frozen because it's so cold up there. And he's delusional
surprised
because
he's
of lack of oxygen. Yeah.
He survived that.
No one knows how. It's like a freak of nature. And they were like, what happened? And they figured it out. And they were like, why are you alive? Are you an X-Men?
Yeah, it's just you have a mutant power
Yeah,
that allows
so-
you subhuman
When did this
temperatures.
happen?
Like 2 weeks ago. Because
my
of the joys
goodness.
of news, you never get the follow-up story, so
Right.
who knows what's gonna happen. But I was like, how do you survive? Same thing with Donald / Jared. How are you surviving?
And he didn't even look that bad when he got out of it at the end of the day. He had some dark circles and some
little
stubble,
scruff.
and he looked pretty traumatized. But all in all, he looked all right.
I mean, that's terrifying though, like a robot-controlled island.
Oh my gosh, I love that. But
Yeah,
clearly,
it's
he's
the
he's
future.
coming back.
Right.
We saw in the teaser he magically makes it home.
Jared lives.
I know. I didn't know like if that was gonna be like a subplot storyline where he's like on the island.
Yeah, just Jared
I
just
would
like
love
never
catching
comes back.
pigeons, like talking to
Castaway,
Wilson.
yeah.
Yeah.
What I kind of loved about that, I know you talked about this a lot last week, like the how it's social commentary. Oh my gosh, I thought my mic was just falling on me.
Just breaking stuff.
I just freaked out, you guys. So you were talking a lot about the social commentary and
Right.
in a lot of this stuff, and I felt like that was exactly what this was. He gets on this island, there's no humans. It's all robots and remote controlled things, and it's terrifying. And it's
Yeah.
totally like what people want to go towards, but at the same time it's like no, sometimes you just need a person.
I know.
To help
I mean, it's
you.
cropping up on a lot of shows too, like the drones that are like being hacked and like sent other places, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. This is too scary.
No.
Yeah, they actually just built a robot. I saw a video with President Obama, and he was like playing soccer with this robot.
Really?
Yeah, like a legitimate, like it kicked the ball like to him. They played past. him.
Wow.
So
That's
it's-
terrifying.
That's
President
actually
Obama.
happening. Yeah.
Cool.
We're bringing him so many fun news stories. You're welcome, listeners.
Well, it's glad to have you guys back.
I know. I'm glad to be back.
The
to see you
trio's
guys.
back together
And
again.
we're in our matching blues.
Oh,
We should do this next week.
All right.
Yeah, just maybe a new color. I mean, blue's very
Let's
in, as we all
decide
know.
off the air.
Fine.
Do we want to talk about next week? Jump to some predictions, perhaps? Ooh. Great.
I'm down.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so before we go around the circle, round robin style, they are finally at the conference, the competition. What is it?
TechCrunch Disrupt.
Oh, of course, a TechCrunch Disrupt. So this is where young ideas get like funding and just a little more press and PR.
I think it's a real thing.
I believe it is. Yeah, it's sort of a industry conference that they all go to, obviously.
Probably in Vegas.
I would hope so. All good things happen in Vegas.
Oh, and we get to meet Richard's ex-girlfriend, a girl he used to date.
Yes.
A love interest, finally.
Ooh, yes.
What they
Back
did
into
show
Richard
us
fast.
looked very promising.
I know.
He looked like such a creeper, but you feel so bad for him because I, being a girl, can relate to like thinking somebody's like being creepy on you, and you're like, no, please just back away. And he's like, no, I'm not obsessed with you. I'm really excited to see how that all goes down.
And she looked like a tad bit awkward, just like Richard. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I predict abracadabra. I think that Nucleus will get to see like head to head what they're doing, and then finally what Pied Piper's doing. Like that will all come to like a pinpoint of like this is who we are, because we still have not heard Pied Piper exactly. We know what it does, but we don't know what they're going to be. So that's exciting for the listeners and viewers to like see.
Yeah. Plus, Gavin Belson, I think, in the last episode said that he was going to be a keynote speaker.
Oh yeah.
So
Right.
if Peter Gregory attends with them at the conference, I wonder if that will be an awkward moment.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't
Yeah,
want to burst
he
your
may
bubble.
just send Monica.
But,
'cause we did see her, so she's confirmed.
I want to
obviously.
find out the more about Peter Gregory and Gavin's history, though.
I know they have to address it, but I mean, we've talked about this before. Christopher Evan Welsh, who plays the character, he died after filming episode 5. So this was the first episode after he had passed away. I actually read an interview with Mike Judge, who's the creator of the show, and they asked him about this, and he said that for a couple episodes, they kind of just wrote around him just to give themselves time to process and grieve. And
Like how he was calling on the other line and stuff.
right, and you know, you didn't even hear him speak. You just heard that like that noise that he does. So today, I think it was very apparent where they had written around him and changed scenes to like allude that he was just somewhere else. And here's Monica signing the paperwork, and
That's a major like glitch.
so
Like a wrench.
that's gonna
Definitely.
have to come to a head soon. They're gonna have to explain
Address it.
something. But I think next episode, I don't think it's gonna happen yet. That was a lot of
What if they
things.
just send him to the island?
Maybe that's what's gonna happen.
You know?
That was.
And then
that
Monica
a
is like
good
the
setup.
only person they communicate with.
All
guess-
along.
Yeah,
We'll
maybe
have
that's
to
how Jared
see.
/ Donald gets back home.
They trade places. All right, we'll find out next week. Until then, we're going to continue the conversation on Twitter. I tweet from Jeff Masters 1.
I'm at JB_Zimmerman.
I am at Sophie Schilacci. That's SOPHIESCHILLACI. And yes, that's Italian.
We will see everybody next week. Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.